Kahalo Yahweh Bahashem, Hamashayake Hawashah. This is Proverbs 14 and 1. The wise woman builds her house on a foundation of godly precepts, and her household thrives. But the foolish one who lacks spiritual insight tears it down with her own hands by ignoring godly principles. So now we see why the majority of black families are torn down. And I had read this in a Willie Lynch letter a couple weeks ago, how their whole target is the woman, the so-called black woman, Hispanic woman, and Native American woman, to put her on top, to make her the head, because she's good for economics. She's the best for economics. But the Bible puts the woman. Women don't think that they have an important job just because we say that the man is the house, the head of the house. You know, the man is the master. The man is how they get salvation and all that. That's not. They have an important role, just like the man have an important role. In the scriptures in Sirach chapter 26, it says that a wise woman is a strong tower against death to her husband. Meaning your wife, she the only one that's gonna tell you, bro, you acting stupid right now. You shouldn't do that. Don't go out with them. You should just stay home with me. Let's just watch a movie. Whatever situation that you in that could cause you to get in trouble, cause you to go to jail, death, or anything like that, or even just get injured, your wife will be the first one to tell you about it, right? And that goes back to Sirach chapter 26. But right here, the wise woman builds her house on a foundation of godly precepts, and her household thrives. That means she obeys the scriptures. Right now, we understand that the woman is the weaker vessel, so she's not going to abide in the scriptures the way that men abided in the scriptures. But she's still going to have these godly precepts dealing with how to be a daughter of Sarah. You know, because the Most High put His Spirit on a lot of our women to be leaders for the rest of the women, so that the women that don't want to follow God, they can be condemned by that, because you don't have no excuse. But if you a woman, just because you're the weaker vessel, that does not mean that it's okay to flirt around with your emotions, flirt around with your iniquities, your sins. You have to do something about your sins the same way that the men have to do something about their sins. Right? We understand that the woman is emotional, but that's not an excuse, because you are a very important piece to the term family. You are a very important piece, and the men need you to be in order the same way that they have to be in order. Right? That's why it says that she built her foundation, like she's rooted in godly precepts. She understands, like Proverbs 31. Proverbs 31 is perfect when it comes to a woman having godly precepts or godly principles. Right? And that's why women do not need to be in the book of Revelation. They do not need to be in Second Esdras trying to figure out what's going on in the last days. You have to leave that up to the man. And you know, if you are interested in something like that, you go to the man and he teach you that. And there's nothing wrong with learning that kind of stuff. But if you don't know, I know a lot of women, they don't know nothing about being a woman. And according to the scriptures, according to society, all right, cool. But according to the scriptures, they have no idea how to be a woman. Some will be prideful and say, you know what I'm saying, you ain't talking about me, right? And some just don't care. Some will admit it. But the majority of our women do not know how to be a woman of the Bible, simply because they don't look for scriptures that show them how to be a better woman in the Bible, right? So the wise woman builds her house on a foundation of godly precepts, and her household thrives. That's what we all need. You being the man's peace, this applies. If you want to be his peace, this applies. Cooking, cleaning, washing, you know, and of course you're going to be tired. We're tired too. Men tired. We got to go to work every day. Then we got to go to camp. Then we got to study to make sure that everything is on beat. We got camps to run. We got all kind of stuff we got to do. So the same should go for you. And we in captivity. It's draining in itself. We understand that, you're going to get tired. We understand that. And this is why a lot of you women need sister wives, man. Because think of it, two hands can do a lot. But look what four hands can do. Look what six hands can do. Look what eight hands can do. Let's say you're a woman and you got five children. Let's say five, which is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with having five children. It's actually an honorable thing in the scriptures. Nowadays, that shit ain't honored. But in the scriptures, if we supposed to be going back to the days of old. In the scriptures, Jeremiah 6:16, it says, seek out the old path, the old way. But in the scriptures, it was an honorable thing to have a lot of children. Jacob had 12 sons, right? It was an honor to have all those children. But let's say you have five children, and not even that's going to be a hard task for you to do, especially in this society, right? What would help you? And this is how you know when women are very prideful. And it's like, okay, well, life going to be hard for you then. Because you can simply go talk to your husband and be like, hey, we need some help. He going to be down. He going to be down with getting help inside the house, right? And you also helping please your husband. But a lot of women's pride and ego is so puffed up, according to the ways of America, they're not going to do it at all. Like I was telling a story, we was downtown in front of the bus station one week. It was like a month ago, probably. And we don't go down there no more simply because they had changed the rules down there. So, but we had went down there like a month, or might have been a month and a half. And me and the captain, we was sitting on the side, we was discussing certain things. And one of the patrollees who patrols the place for the homeless people, he walked up to me and he was just like, hey, so that white girl over there, she said you fine and she like you. And I'm like, all right. So she was homeless. So me and Captain start laughing. I was like, tell her to come here. So she came over there, she's smiling. I said, so what's up? She said, did he tell you what I said? I said, yeah, he told me. I was like, I already could see her conditions and shit. I was like, so do you know how to follow orders? Do you know how to listen to your husband? And she said, oh no, I'm not doing that. And I was like, all right, cool. I appreciate your time. I'm saying that to say, women will be at the lowest estate in the world, homeless, and they still obeying a man it's not happening. They would rather be homeless. A lot of them are homeless simply because they didn't want to follow suit with what the operation of their husband. Straight up. It's just that simple. The pride of these women, they have been programmed to be this prideful as they are. Straight up. And it's putting them in very bad conditions. Right? So going back to my original point, it's very, very beneficial for you to have sister wives for you to have sister wives. Other women that could help you with those five children so that you can get sleep, so that you don't have to worry about spending more money for daycare, all kind of things. But it's either you gonna grow in your ego, or you gonna cast your ego to the side and say, fuck this, I need some help. Straight up. And it's either you go find her for your husband, or you tell him, and he gonna find Jake gonna find her. That's a fact. Jake is gonna go find her. But it's very beneficial. And this is part of, these godly precepts, because in the scriptures it says that a man can have multiple wives. So this is a part of those godly precepts that or principles that a woman abides by in the scriptures. But I don't think you understand. A lot of women don't understand that. And I see it firsthand. I see it with a lot of brothers' wives, where they build a relationship and those relationships be good. And you don't have to worry about women being fake. You don't have to worry about women sleeping with your husband because that's his wife too. So all of those problems go out the window. That's one of a woman's biggest problem is she can't get shit done simply because she's worrying about her dude sleeping with somebody else. That's her. That's all she know in her head. And she do not want her husband sleeping with another wife. But when you cast that out the side, you cast that to the side by simply allowing it to happen, life will be easier for you. As women that got multiple wives, and they will give, you don't even have to, okay, that's cool. You don't agree with it. As women, what is it like, being a sister wife? Having, being married to a husband that has other women inside the house. Ask them what it's like. And look at their countenance. Their face glows. They don't have nothing to worry about. I ain't never seen multiple wives that's just so stressed out because now you have times where they might get into an argument. That's women. I mean, come on. But for the most part, they shine bright. They have no worries because the biggest worry that they ever had, they dealing with it by simply embracing it. I'm telling you, bro, when you do that, life will be so much easier. Like I said, a woman's biggest problem on this earth is worrying about if her man is sleeping with another woman. But if you embrace that, life will be easier for you, literally, for mentally and physically, hey, and spiritually, because the Bible talks about a wife jealous over another woman. Let me get it. You see where this scripture took me to? Sirach. Sirach chapter 26 and 6. It says, but a woman jealous of another woman causes heartache and grief. Her tongue lashes out at everybody. You see that? And that's the majority of our women. They talking shit to everybody because they don't want to understand. They let their ego clog their judgment. And when I say judgment is like, does this benefit me? How could this help us as a family? How could this? How could this that? Women don't think like that. They like, oh hell no, that ain't happening. She behind on bills. She living by herself, behind on bills. Kids is missing school because she can't afford daycare. No food in the refrigerator. That's all kind of shit. But one thing she do know is she is not accepting poly. I've met countless amount of women that's in that situation, and it gets worse. But it says, but a woman jealous of another woman causes heartache and grief. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. And the Bible confirms that it's not a good thing. So I'm going to read this one more time. This Proverbs. Proverbs 14 and 1. The wise woman. This is a smart. This woman got intelligence. She's decent. She understands certain things. Only these women is going to sit back and be like, I mean, I guess we can try it. I mean, what else I got to lose? He's going to do it anyway, right? So why not do it the right way? Or you can choose death and leave your husband because he got another wife, which is lawful in the eyes of God. So that means God is still going to judge you. He's not going to judge this man because it's lawful to do that. He's going to judge you because you left your man and you went and had babies by another man. That's in the scriptures too. In fact, let me get that before I get the Proverbs. So you got to choose this day if you want to be a wise woman or if you want to be an idiot. Because a lot of our women is idiots, man. I done been in a lot of a lot of women houses, and it's just pathetic. It's like, girl, why don't you clean this house up? And you know what she say? I'm always busy. I got these kids. I'm always working. But one thing they will not do is accept poly. Yeah, you can go find a sister wife first. Let's say you single. Go find a sister wife, and then y'all both find a man together. Then y'all know what kind of man y'all can look for characteristics in a man that you don't see, she see, and what she don't see, you see. Bro, there's so many ways for it to be done right. So it says, sorry, 23 and 24. Because a lot of women do this. When they husband get another wife, they leave. And they thinking that everything is all good. And it's not. You're going to be judged. He's not. So this is Sirach chapter 23 and verse 22. Thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband and bringeth in an heir by another. Heir is like you joint, meaning y'all became one, meaning y'all had children. It says, for first, this is just the first point, she have disobeyed the law of the Most High unto death. And secondly, second point, she have trespassed against her own husband. And thirdly, we all know the third is the charm. 3 strikes and you out. But according, this, the first strike you out, the second strike, it's going to sum up to most likely the lake of fire. But it says, and thirdly, she have played the whore in adultery. So it's fair to call these women whores. That's what they are. That's what the Bible say. But a lot of people, not only that they don't want you to say that, they don't even want you to read scriptures like that. But that's what makes us different from everybody else, from the Christian church. We're going to read scriptures like this and break it down. She hath played the whore in adultery and brought children by another man. She shall be brought out into the congregation and inquisition, which an investigation shall be made of her children. And that's why today a lot of children, they grow up, be gangbangers, thugs, they die at an early age, they miserable. It's because this woman committed adultery and she's brought in children by a man. Man, this is all kind of shit going on. This man, he thinking it's his child, and this man over here, he know it's his child, but he watching from a distance another nigga taking care of his child. It's just a whole bunch of confusion in the nation of Israel. And this is the council in the heavens. An inquisition shall be made of her children. This is why they grow up with all these problems. And the parents don't even consider, like, this is my fault while my children is getting bullied in school. This is my fault while my child is slow. All this goes back to judgment of something you did, according to Exodus chapter 20. He says, punishing the fathers unto the children, unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me. You did this to your kids, your children. It says, her children shall not take root, and her branches shall bring forth no fruit. She shall leave her memorial to be cursed, and her reproach shall be not blotted out. You see that? Meaning, you only gonna know certain women. You only know certain women by what they did. Certain women, you only know them by what they did, and that's just simple. Like, you be like, oh, Keisha, you talking about Keisha that she got like 4 different baby daddies, right? Like, yeah, Keisha. She remember she slept with both of her brothers. She slept with both of them and got pregnant by the daddy. Cause I just read an article on that earlier. A dude he had a girl and he died. And now the information when he died, his girl been sleeping with the daddy and his best friend. That's the kind of shit that going on in our community. Bro, you sleeping with your son's girl? Bro, Jake have no morals, no principles, man. And this is, according to the lesson that I'm doing, most importantly are women, because they are put at the forefront. And obviously you can't trust them to lead. That's just the truth. Obviously you can't trust them to lead. So it says, and they that remain shall know that there is nothing better than the fear of the Lord, and that there is nothing sweeter than to take heed unto the commandments of the Lord. So now, going back to Proverbs 14 and 1, the wise woman builds her house on a foundation of godly principles, and her household thrives. But the foolish one, a dumbass woman who lacks spiritual insight, and this is willfully, She willfully lacks spiritual insight. She don't care what the Bible says. She doesn't care what her man says. She's gonna do what she wants to. She's gonna go to the club and leave her kids at grandma's house. Straight up. All she think about is having sex and recording it. That's all she think about. Getting bust up. And so she can sleep in the next day, calling in from work. I mean, it's all kind of shit. It says, but the foolish one who lacks spiritual insight tears it down with her own hands. It's not talking about her literally grabbing a hammer and tearing it down. It's talking about her works, because that's what you do with your hands. You perform works. It's talking about her works, man. The shit that she do, the not listening, right? Being prideful, right? Choosing the wrong men. It goes into all of that. It says by ignoring godly principles. By ignoring godly principles. Like I said earlier, a lot of women don't even know how to be like Sarah. They don't know. A lot of women don't, in the truth. I've met a female, and she was, it was her brother's wife, and we was all on the phone together. It was me and my wife and him and his wife. We was all laughing, having a good time, and we started talking about the Bible, and she said, he don't teach me anything. He don't teach me nothing out the Bible, because I was like, Moses, and she was like, nah, I don't know who Moses is. I was like, what? And she was like, he doesn't teach me anything. And I mean, damn, like, why would she say that? How could she say that if you are? But that's just the truth. A lot of niggas ain't teaching their wives. So a lot of women don't know that Proverbs 31 is in there. A lot of women don't know that that a lot, leaving a husband is, and being with somebody else is sin, because you didn't teach her. So a lot of it is men's faults by not teaching them these godly principles. Like, you're the training wheels. You're the training wheels for your wife. You give her the precepts that she's supposed to read. Sirach 25, Sirach 26, 1 Timothy 2 and 12 on down. Ephesians 5 and 26 on down. Right? You got Sirach 20. I said Sirach 25 and 26 already. Proverbs 31. You got certain scriptures, and you give them scriptures on wicked women. Have them go read what Jezebel was like, and then have them Google and bring back the like go study on Jezebel, and bring me back some information on the characteristics on Jezebel and how she's alive. Her spirit is alive today. Straight up. That's the kind of things you need to be doing if you're a teacher. A lot of niggas don't even do that, man. They don't even teach their women, but they be holding them up to this high ass standard. But she don't know. She the weaker vessel. But a lot of women do. A lot of women that are getting teached, they ignore godly principles, meaning they don't want to hear it. So you women out there, you have to choose who you gonna serve. You gonna serve the principles of the Most High God through your husband, or you gonna serve yourself, man. Shalom.